The Haunting of Widow's Hollow, a true Appalachian mystery. There's a place tucked deep in the Appalachian Mountains where the fog never lifts and the wind never stops whispering through the pines. Folks around Wise County, Virginia, call it Widow's Hollow. And if you ask the old-timers why, they'll lean in close and tell you a story that'll make your skin crawl. A story that's been passed down for nearly a century. So sit back, turn off the lights, and listen close, because tonight, my friends, you're about to hear the haunting of Widow's Hollow. Our story begins in the fall of 1947. Coal trains still rumbled through the valley, black smoke rolling across the ridges like a storm that never ended. On the edge of a narrow dirt road stood a lonely farmhouse. The paint was peeling, the porch sagged, and the windows stared out like tired eyes. That was the home of Eleanor Blevins, a woman folks around town called Miss Ellie. Now, Miss Ellie had lost her husband 2 years earlier in a mine explosion that killed 6 men. After that, she wasn't quite the same. She stopped coming into town, stopped talking to neighbors. Some said she'd gone strange from the grief, that she spent her nights wandering the woods with a lantern, calling her husband's name into the dark. And others swore they'd seen a light moving through the trees long after midnight, but no one ever dared to follow it. Then, one cold November morning, the mailman came up the hill and found Miss Ellie's front door standing wide open. The place was in shambles, dishes shattered, furniture overturned, muddy footprints leading straight out the back door and into the woods. But Miss Ellie, she was gone. The sheriff's men searched the holler for 3 days straight. On the 4th, they found her, lying beside a dead oak tree in the fog, her eyes wide open, her hands clasped like she was praying. There wasn't a mark on her, no sign of a fall, no struggle, just a look of pure terror frozen on her face. The coroner couldn't explain it. The preacher said she'd been taken by something not of this earth. And the old women in town, well, they whispered that Miss Ellie had finally found her husband. Or maybe he'd come back to find her. After her funeral, folks tried to stay clear of that hollow. But strange things kept happening. Travelers passing through at night said they heard a woman's voice calling from the woods, soft at first, then desperate. "Thomas, Thomas, come home." Dogs refused to go near the place. Horses reared and bolted at the first scent of fog. Everyone in Wise County knew better than to linger on that road after dark. But you know how teenage boys are. One night, a few of them decided to test the legend. They drove up to Widow's Hollow with a bottle of moonshine and more courage than sense. They parked their truck under that same dead oak tree, laughing and daring each other to call her name. Midnight came. The fog rolled in thick as smoke, and the air turned cold enough to bite. Then, from somewhere deep in the woods, came the sound of footsteps, slow, crunching through the leaves. The boys shined their flashlights toward the noise, and that's when they saw her. A woman in a long white dress, pale as the moon, standing just beyond the tree line. In her hand was an old lantern, burning with a blue flame. The boys ran. They didn't stop until they hit town, and to this day, none of them will talk about what they saw that night. But one of them, years later, on his deathbed, told a preacher something that still gives me chills. He said, "Whatever I saw out there, it wasn't alive. And that lantern, It was calling to me, like it wanted me to follow. They say that on foggy nights, you can still see that same lantern drifting through Widow's Hollow, swaying through the mist, searching. Some say it's Miss Ellie, still calling for her husband. Others believe it's a warning that some loves run so deep they can reach beyond the grave. So if you ever find yourself driving through Wise County after dark and you see a pale blue light glowing in the trees, don't stop, don't look back, just keep driving, because not every ghost in Appalachia wants to be found.